Every day when you're waking up, when you're working out, or if you just need a mental boost, download Mindset to start your day right.
I'm just stubborn, man. I just never give up. You're crazy until you're successful. Then you're a genius. Get a life, be realistic. People will convince you you're out of your mind for wanting to do this. Then once you're successful, they're like, yo, your drive, your tenacity was great. But it's like, yeah, well, where was that back then?
I knew deep down that I could do something. I was different from other people. I had different experiences. There was something I needed to express. There was a purpose to how my life had unfolded, but I couldn't find it.
If you look at the great ones, they have one thing in common. They suffered more than most people. Greatness really flows from our disconnection to who we are.
Intake and the outtake of what you call life is nothing more than time. And unless done something with, it's forgotten about.
It's funny, when you're making lots of money, it's like admirable, it's respectable. It's like, look, those are traits we want. But when you're not successful, you're a lunatic. I have extreme obsession to the point where like, for me, it's much easier to think about something 16 hours a day for 7 days straight than it is like to like gear shift constantly. I'm like really good at just obsessing over one thing more than anyone else on the planet. If I were to say what's my superpower, it's that I can just obsess endlessly about something and I can just have the same thoughts over and over and over and over again. It's very weird. Like, it wasn't like it was work for me grinding YouTube for those 10 years or whatever where no one was really watching it. It's just like kind of who I am.
There's a certain delusional quality that all successful people have to have. You have to believe that something different than what has happened for the last 50 million years of history. You have to believe that something different can happen.
It don't matter how f***ed up that shit might look. It don't matter how much it feel like it ain't gonna work.
Delusional.
Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion. Because it's only delusional until it works. So is it really delusional? Once the world see it, there's nothing delusional about it. Now your delusion becomes, oh, he was a genius. We didn't see it when he saw it. We didn't understand it when he did. We thought this mother was crazy.
Everybody's a fighter in their own right. You're a fighter, I'm a fighter. Everyone that's in this room, even the newspapermen, they're fighters. But everybody don't get up every morning and run. Everybody don't go to the gym every morning. And everybody don't have enough discipline to wait in the locker room for 2 hours or 3 hours, then go in the ring and do what they've been taught all those years in the gym. And so that's what separates a champion from a mediocre fighter.
I got to the Patriots and you talked about that one moment where I said, wow, I can really do this. So think about it. I had been in all this competition at Michigan. I had Brian Greasy ahead of me lead us to a national championship. I had one of the top recruits in the country, Drew Henson, and I was staring those guys down every day. Here I come to the Patriots and I get drafted and I'm fourth on the depth chart. And I finally see Drew Bledsoe throw the ball for the first time. And in my very naive, competitive way, because he signed a 10-year, $100 million contract with the New England Patriots when I was making $185,000, I looked at him and I go, I could throw the ball better than that. Which I was the only one on the field who saw that, and I wasn't, but I had a belief that I could if I worked the same way and if I gained the trust and respect of my teammates in the same way, that if I ever did get that position, and I told this to my best friend who was one of my roommates in college, I said, if they ever put me on the field, they're never gonna take me off the field. And they never did.
In the race of life, life's not gonna give you a glass of water when you're thirsty. And I realized that. And once again, people are like, God, your life is horrible. It's not.
Yeah.
This is how I live. And if there's not people like me in this world with this kind of mentality, it's not be like David Goggins, go run 200 miles. Take something from this. Remember where I started from. Mm-hmm. You don't need to go where I went.
Right.
I went this far because I started opening different doors to the cellar in my brain. My God, is this possible? Oh my God, that's possible. This possible. I started opening different compartments. You can leave them shut. I don't care. So what I do now in the morning times, I do this because why life's not going to give me the get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
And And if I come on here on this podcast and talk this stuff, I have to live what I say.
You've lost touch with who you are, the core of your being. You're on social media too much. You're listening to what other people are telling you. You're listening to what your parents told you should be doing in life. You're listening to what your friends think is cool. You're listening to what the culture is all about, you know, the entertainment industry, etc. You got to cut all that shit out. You got to listen to yourself, and you got to be a bit bold, and you have to embrace what makes you different. I say what makes you weird because I know personally I'm a very weird person. If you saw me at home, you'd go, whoa, he talks to his animals like that? He's talking to his bottle of shampoo when he's showering? That guy's strange. I like it. I don't mind being weird. I use it to my advantage. I put it in my books. You have weirdness to you, whoever you are. Things that you might sometimes be a little bit ashamed or embarrassed or uncomfortable with, right? But you shouldn't be. What makes you different, what makes you particularly strange, if you want to use another word, is your strength, is your source of power.
For me, that was a gift that life gave me, was this like low-key delusional belief. And so when I was living in Moss Side, stealing pizzas and stuff, I started recording it in my diary and doing little videos. And it's crazy. In the first page of my diary, I lied to my diary. I said, I'm recording this journey because a production company has asked me. It was just that I always believed I'd be here. However, when I try and impose that onto people and tell them the importance of self-belief, and I see these people who have got their confidence just absolutely in the bin because of experiences they've had, or their dad when they were 4 years old told them that they're a piece of shit, and my fluffy words at when they're 35 aren't stronger than those words that their dad said to them, I struggle to try and tell them how to get to that place of genuine self-belief, because as I said, you can't fake it. If Steve had a shred of doubt in Moss Side, I'd still be there.
How did you cultivate that self-belief?
Being told no all the time, being told I can't all the time. And I think for me, I know that there's certain things that I'm not amazingly great at, but I guess the self-belief thing really came from always knowing that I was meant for more. For me, I always thought, why should I limit myself? I believe that anybody can do anything. I think you can break the model. Steve Jobs, break the model. Mark Zuckerberg, break the model. I think that there's no one blueprint that you have to follow, and that's what I get most of my inspiration from myself.
So you and I agree on that completely. You can do anything you set your mind to.
Absolutely.
But most people don't.
It's true.
So solve a riddle for me. Why don't they?
I think they don't because of fear. I think a lot of people are afraid to jump all the way. It's kind of like having faith. A lot of us say we believe, but we don't really show it.
Through my journey, I figured out the one piece I was missing. I thought it was cars. I thought it was women. The one piece I was missing was me having the courage to face myself. And once you do that on a daily basis, it's not about the running. People are going to be, you asked about working out. Where I got my work ethic from was the hours I had to spend learning this. When you sit down and you're not smart, and you have a disability, and you still want to be at the top of your class, I didn't want to just get by. When I realized that I can learn through hard work, and I can beat the valedictorian in school, but I got put in 10 hours more a day than he does. You know what kind of strength comes from that? When you're sitting down, that guy, that valedictorian studied for an hour, and you know I caught you, and I am dumb, but I have the work ethic to catch you. That's where David Goggins got really invented. Was at a kitchen table with 20 spiral notebooks that were empty. And then 3 months later, they were full. This is unbelievable. There's no miles. It's not about the miles. It's that, having a discipline every day to say, for me to learn this one math problem, it's gonna take me 10 hours.
Wow.
And that's where and you realize through hard work, you can outwork anybody, no matter how badass they are.
You have to be the champ before you be the champ. You understand? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can't just pop this by training and doing push-ups and knocking people out. I'm the champ. No, you have to be the actual champ. Your conduct, your lifestyle have to be the champ before you actually wear the belt.
I tried 24 different businesses to finally get to AppSumo, to finally eventually get rich. So yeah, you're swinging, but just one works, awesome. But I think people don't swing enough, they don't even get started swinging, and that's, you know, they're not ready on the sidelines. And there's never a good time. The best time is right now. It's not yesterday because that passed. It's not tomorrow because you don't know. It's right now.
The reason I always do things that I think I might fail at is because I don't care what anybody thinks if I lose. It's a very big deal, guys. The reason I take so many risks, and always did, and that's why I won, was because if I lost, I didn't care about what anybody thought about my L. It's my fucking L. I'm telling you, if you can figure out how to get every voice out of your mind, your whole life will change. Doesn't mean you don't take advice from people, but if you realize how to get quiet up here, everything's different, man. What's scary about failure? I love losing. It means I learned something.
If I'm really honest, to have a certain level of success, I do believe you do have to be obsessed with it. If your goal is to be successful, but then also have weekends and also have a certain standard of relationship and have family, that's not wrong. That is your goal and you do that. But when people say that to me, my goals are, I want to be exceptionally good at this one thing. And that is going to require a certain level of dedication.